Roll Tide, everybody, and a lot to talk about on today's Elephant in the Room, brought to you by Pearl River Resort. Bama nails two blue chip recruits, two guys that they definitely wanted for this year's class, the 26 class, and some other guys. But in-state victory for Coach DeBoer over Auburn, Texas oil money, and one of the guys that we targeted to come to Tuscaloosa. Beat them all, Jake. Beat them all. And still a long way to go before signing day, but big win for Alabama. We're going to get into that and more. Again, brought to you by Pearl River Resort, Philadelphia, Mississippi. Two amazing golf courses there, the Azaleas, the Oaks, part of Dancing Rabbit, hour and a half from Tuscaloosa, 2 and change from Birmingham. Roll Tide, let's go. All right, there he is, Jake Coker. I'm Mick Gillispie. I picked up almost the wrong open plate. Our producer hit the wrong open. Probably felt sorry for you because your show open is definitely soft. But people love it. People do love that soft open. It's like a restaurant.
It's become a staple of the show. I don't think we can change it now.
No.
I mean,
no.
We've talked so much shit about it over the last year and a half. I think that's that's how people recognize us.
Yeah, like that the whistling elephant with the hat that doesn't really look like it belongs on his head. It's like a clip art hat. Oh man, well, another episode, man, and this is a good one because I worry about the recruiting angle. You and I both have heard that Alabama's been getting negatively recruited by our rivals because they're like, hey, this, DeBoer, he can coach and he can recruit, but he's getting all these California guys. He doesn't understand the South, all that stuff. Robert Gillispie should be my cousin. Great job, Coach G. And Alabama, man, for getting it done, going out there and making Alabama a comfortable place for E.J. Crowell from Jackson, 5-star, yep. 5-star running back, would have been the number one running back in the 27 class, switched to the 26 class. But he's one of the 4 guys you target in the state of Alabama, Jake, that you if you're Alabama, if Nick Saban's there, you're going to get these 4 guys. Kalen DeBoer has gotten 2 of them right now. And this one, to me, was a really big one because Texas was in there trying to buy him away, and Alabama found a way to get him to commit to his dream school.
Yeah, I mean, look, I was up in Jackson last weekend, and the word that I kept hearing was, Texas, other out-of-state schools, but mainly Texas with the NIL money being a huge factor in his recruitment. And so I was a little nervous about, losing an in-state homegrown guy. I mean, Jackson, Alabama, that's about as Alabama as it gets. And I was really, really thinking that Texas was going to come to the table with a high number that, he may not be able to refuse. But I'm telling you, Courtney Morgan, Robert Gillispie, Coach DeBoer, those guys they're really getting after it. And the fears that I had and look, I know we're targeting out-of-state guys, but we do have a pretty good staple of commits from Alabama right now. Well, we got 3, I guess, but hey, they're doing a great job of getting guys out of state as well. Alabama guys, you and I have talked about it on this podcast over and over again. You got to focus on those guys, but we're doing a heck of a job. We're right in line with a lot of big schools in terms of NIL, but competing with those I would imagine USC's got a pretty good NIL collective. I know Texas does, A&M, all the blue bloods, but getting those out of state guys too with the NIL budget we have is, hey man, it's saying a lot about the effort we're putting forth trying to get these guys. And I'll be honest with you, I saw Matt Sutter committed yesterday or this morning.
Yeah, yesterday, like right after.
And to be honest with you, I wasn't real sure about him. I didn't know a lot about him. And before we started this podcast, I went and looked at some of his highlights, and I'm pretty blown away by the kid. You never know when you get a 6'5", 230-pound tight end out of high school if he's going to be one of those guys that's just a big body that, you're hoping to develop. But when I watch his tape, I mean, the kid's got great feet. He plays multiple different positions, which to me usually speaks to his athleticism. If you're playing tight end and quarterback, tells me you're a fluid athlete. But then I watch him run routes. I watch him catch the ball. I watch him throw the ball. They've got him coming off the edge on defense, a pretty good bit. This kid, I mean, if you can get him and Saban Morgan in the same class, try to defend those two guys along with, the older guys that are going to be there already. That's going to be a tough deal for defenses. And then you got, Crowell coming in, playing running back. That's a lot of weapons. And obviously, Kalen DeBoer has focused a lot on the guys up front, the offensive line. I mean, man, offensively, this class is really coming together and looking good. It's trying to guard a guy that's got that kind of size at tight end. Who, I mean, even in high school, he's playing outside. He's running digs. They got him running slants. They got him running all kinds of stuff, and his feet are great. He's coming in and out of breaks very fluidly and very quickly. I mean, let me tell you, man, we got some targets that are going to be really tough to guard. And to not be able to focus on one or the other, but having to guard multiple guys, it just creates a matchup nightmare. And Saban Morgan, I mean, I'm seeing Colorado's making a late push for him. I get how it's, it may be the cool thing to do to go play for Deion Sanders out there, and much respect to Deion for coming to Alabama and recruiting this kid hard. But if you're Saban Morgan, and you want to create that legacy in the state of Alabama, obviously you don't want to go to Auburn. I mean, we discussed that in the last podcast. Auburn, just to me, is you can't put your finger on where the direction of that program. Mm-hmm. I feel like under Kalen DeBoer and Ryan Grubb, I feel like as a receiver, you're going to be the highlight of that offense, and you're going to have other guys to take the pressure off you so you can get the ball more. You got Colorado. If you have any plans of moving back to Alabama, I mean, you're not helping yourself by moving out to Colorado and going to school there. And you better hope you're a top 2-3 round draft pick, if you're going out there. So I think Alabama makes the most sense for him, and I think that's where he's going to end up being. But I get the excitement about Colorado with Deion Sanders, but man, Alabama's going to be such a good fit with that class coming in 26 that I'd love to talk to him.
Right.
Honestly, I think the sky's the limit at Alabama, and given the class that's already showing up, man, and at that point, you're going to have, let's see, by the time he's getting into his groove at Alabama, you think probably Keelan Russell's starting to hit his stride, and you're going to have weapons all over the field.
Yeah. I think that's a big part of this for Kalen DeBoer is getting the right guys in the program, not just the right players athletically, but the right players mentally too. People that want to be there, and that's what you keep hearing from everyone. It's like, hey, these are guys that want to be a part of this program. It's a two-way street, and you can go out and spend all the money you want to spend. If you can be Texas and throw money around, Texas Tech right now is trying to take advantage of this system where they're going to spend as much money as they have to. They want to be a national contender before it's illegal to do that, because eventually they are going to end this and make it to where there's rules, because there's no rules right now. But I guess the way you get around that is you bring in people that want to be there, that are enthusiastic about the program. And this is a kid that grew up watching Alabama, loves Alabama, wanted to be there, just like you know. When you were talking about Crowell, and with Suter, what's funny to me is he played quarterback and tight end. It reminds me of somebody else.
Who's that?
You.
I didn't play tight end. I played receiver early on in middle school, but that was about it.
No, okay. You didn't play any tight end?
No, not me. But
somebody else. Reminds me of somebody else.
No, man. I tell you though, seeing all this. You know, we said not to panic last month or a few shows ago. I mean, everything's falling into place. They get a couple of these other guys on the list, and I mean, we're in the top 5 again in terms of recruiting rankings. And I'm not a big recruiting rankings guy. I mean, you never know about what guys are going to be until they show up. But just watching the film on some of these guys, I mean, it makes you feel really good because, you know, they're targeting fluid athletes, obviously, and guys that, you know, when I watch Sutter and Morgan, I mean, those are guys that can come in and play early. And again, the Sutter kid is one that I'm really excited about. Guy that plays a lot of positions. Just to me, tells me he's a football player. He gets it. I think he's one that can come in and really perform early, learn the system early.
Right.
And he's got the athleticism to do it. You know. So I think we can calm down a little bit on you know, the comparisons to Brian Harsin.
I never compared him to Brian Harsin.
Yeah, but you know, you heard what was it, Husky Harsin? Was that?
Yeah, that was. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, didn't work out like that though, did it?
Yeah. And so it was, you know, one thing it was Courtney Morgan. Was he kind of the first GM in college football?
I don't know the answer to that. I know that they were ahead of their time on that. And they've worked really hard to overcome, you know, that Husky what is that guy's name?
Brian Harsin.
Harsin, yeah, I get his name wrong every time. He wasn't there very long though.
Yeah.
He took his 2 beatdowns and left.
Yeah, but hey, that's like that was like a Coach Saban move right there. You know, one of the first to bring in a GM, and I think he's had a huge impact on getting these guys. You know, this day and age, you basically have to have a guy who's solely focused on recruiting and you know, figuring out what drives these guys. Is it NIL? Is it culture? Is it
right,
you know, coaching? And I'd say.
Hey guys, I want to remind you that the show is presented by, I've got them right here, Roback. Look, wore this just for you. Roback.com, promo code Crimson20, 20% off when you use our promo code. Do it at Roback, but golf wear, Bama wear, this very, very comfortable hoodie. But they have great stuff, and you get it 20% off for each email address that you use. Wink, wink. So take advantage of that at covercrimson.com, and we appreciate them for being a part of what we do here. And you know, the show's presented by Pearl River Resort, Dancing Rabbit Golf Course. So you get to get the good wares and then swing over to Dancing Rabbit in Philadelphia, Mississippi, and play the Azaleas, the Oaks, hit Philip M. Steakhouse, you know, do the whole deal there and look good with Roback. Yeah, we're talking about Courtney Morgan and kind of what he brings to the table as the GM. I feel like this was a win that Alabama had to have. Now, I don't know how much NIL money they spent or they didn't spend, but I know Texas was pushing hard for them. You heard that. I heard that. But they still made it happen. They've got 2 more big in-state recruits that they'd love to get. You know, you mentioned Sadarian Morgan. That's the wide receiver, a 5-star. out of Benjamin Russell. We talked about him before. And then a guy that from your high school, Tank Jones, 5-star edge. It's not just the stars. It's the fact that these guys grew up Alabama fans, and you want to take advantage of that. Like the fact that they dreamed about wearing that same uniform you wore. But if you're Alabama, it's not Coach Saban. He's there sometimes. He talked to both of these guys. When on the recruiting trips, he offered both of these guys. I think I know he did Jones. I'm not sure about Morgan, but I'm sure he probably did. But now it's Kalen DeBoer, and he's doing a good job of connecting.
Yeah. Well, and you see also, I don't know if you saw the pictures going around. You could tell that it still means something to Coach Saban. He was up there, and what was it, last weekend? I saw the pictures of him and Xavier Crowell. You know that Xavier Crowell he's a talent that is really going to help Alabama out when Coach Saban shows up. To continue to recruit him moving forward. To get him away from Palm Beach, or the lake, and he's back in Tuscaloosa recruiting. It's great to see, and I think that goes a long way for a lot of these players that grew up Alabama fans. You got to think 17 years. Their entire lifetime, Coach Saban was at Alabama, and that's their core memory of growing up being a fan. So, Coach Saban still being around and being involved, I think it speaks volumes of Kalen DeBoer to be able to, take that position and want Coach Saban around. I think it speaks volumes about his humility, and it just kind of shows you how welcoming he is to new ideas and wanting to learn and just wanting to get better, and that's the kind of guy you want, to me, as a head coach. It's kind of like, we've talked about this before, Coach Saban being so open, to getting better. I've talked about the psychology test that we took, and we went over Coach Saban's, and he was all about being open. You bring in Lane Kiffin, Sarkisian, all these guys that at the time were kind of nerve-wracking hires because, I don't want to say he was rehabilitating them, but he brought their careers back, and is really instrumental in them being head coaches in the SEC now. And because I think he wanted to get better. He also wanted to help those guys because I know they had a tough time prior to getting to Tuscaloosa, but anything to get better, he was all about. And the way that he got better also was, he treated people the right way and gave them an opportunity to further their career. And he's all about making everybody better. And that's what I see in Coach DeBoer. Just seems like such a unified group. You walk into a room and you got Kalen DeBoer, Ryan Grubb, Courtney Morgan, Denzel Duvall, Clinton Dix, Josh Chapman. The football knowledge, but also the personalities and the kind of warm welcome you get from those guys. It's just first of all, I think you got to feel very impressed by the football knowledge, but you also feel like you're walking into a family atmosphere. You talk to Kalen DeBoer, you feel that way, and then you talk to those guys that I mentioned on the last podcast, just them being around that program and having played there and instilling that old culture that Coach Saban had and built, and integrating that with what Kalen DeBoer is bringing to the table. As a former player, seeing those guys around makes you feel really good about the direction we're heading. And then you meet Kalen DeBoer and the guys around him, and you just feel like it's a perfect mix.
That was a big day for Alabama. Hopefully there's more to those, more to come. Alabama's back in the top 10 as far as the On3 recruiting rankings. I buy into these rankings. When you're in the top 3, you have a much better chance of winning a national championship than when you're not. things have changed with the transfer portal. But there's a long way to go, and Bama's in the mix for, like I said, 2 5-stars in the state. A lot of great players around the country. Georgia's having a good recruiting summer. So the competition's not changing at all, but the money definitely has changed. The way that the rankings are, Notre Dame's up there. Schools that wouldn't have been up there if they couldn't buy their way in have done that. And that's just part of it right now that you have to deal with, So at Alabama, whether we like it or not, having enough NIL money, it's an important part of what you do on the recruiting trail, because if you don't get these players, you're not going to win, right? I mean, you can't, people will say this, and I know you and I've talked about this before. I mean, you can have 3 stars and you can develop 3 stars, but sometimes they don't develop. I mean, the 5-star, the reason it's a 5-star is that the talent is going to be, it's going to be easier to develop the talent. The physical talent's going to be there.
Yeah.
3 stars, no. You know what I mean? Like you come in, you bust your ass, you work, you get bigger, you get stronger, you get smarter, and you can make yourself a great player and an NFL player, but the odds are down as you go, 5, 4, 3, just off talent.
Yeah. I mean, I would say, usually the 5-star guys, what you got to worry about is the mentality, right? I mean, the tools are there. Those guys are studs athletically. It's just, are they going to buy in? Are they going to be willing to work? Is it about money? Are they going to transfer to the next, highest paid option? 3 stars. Some of them do have the physical talent, and you hit the lottery with some of them.
Mm-hmm.
And they just go under the radar because they didn't get offers till late or whatever. But yeah, to your point, 3 stars usually, they're not ready to come in and play day one. That's the biggest difference. Guys like Ryan Williams are 5 stars for a reason. You can find a way to get him on the field and play. And he seems to have the right mentality about him. You usually don't have that kind of just physical God-given ability where you throw him out there and he makes plays with a 3-star guy. But
yeah,
and like you said, I buy into the recruiting rankings to a certain degree. I think if you're in the top 5, then obviously you've got a ton of athletes and things are probably going to work out. If you're outside of that top 10, then you're starting to get into dangerous territory if you're an SEC school, or that top tier SEC talent. Again, I hate to make the Brian Harsin. I hate to beat that dead horse, but when he was at Auburn, I can't remember their recruiting rankings, but I know it wasn't anything to brag about.
Right.
And it showed. I think Brian Harsin's a good coach, but if you can't recruit in Alabama, then or in the Southeast, then you're going to be in a lot of trouble.
Right. Yeah, no, you're exactly right. With that said,
and you got to also think, you got teams like Ohio State. I'm trying to think outside of the SEC. You got Ohio State, Notre Dame, Oklahoma. Well, now they're in the SEC. But the Southeast has a real advantage because there's, a lot of teams in the SEC, the name alone gets kids excited.
Right.
You think about Iowa State, Iowa. I don't know. Maybe kids are excited to go to those schools that are from those states. But, I just can't imagine you have that much excitement to go to those schools in state like you do Alabama, LSU, Florida State.
Mm-hmm.
We have got to take advantage of that. And you got, like you said, you got to get those in-state guys. That's why it's such a big deal to take kids out of Louisiana or Georgia or
right,
Tennessee, because to pull them away from that school that they grew up loving so much, kind of shows you kind of shows you put your work in recruiting. Did a good job of selling your school.
I loved it when Saban used to do that. Go into Louisiana and get the Eddie Lacy's of the world.
Oh yeah.
Go to Georgia and then take their best guys. Go to Tennessee and take their best guys. He was a tactician when it came to that. Like, he would want to get them for Alabama and to keep them away from whoever else.
I mean, I'm 5-star out of Marietta, Georgia. I mean, that's Jamarian Matthews, 4-star out of Gainesville, Georgia. Chris Booker out of Atlanta. I mean, that's no small task to steal those away from Georgia. And I mean, I feel like us and Georgia are probably on the same playing field from an NIL standpoint. I mean, I would imagine there's got to be a little more money in Georgia, but I mean, to get those guys, it's just that's a hell of an effort from our guys.
Yeah, really awesome job there. So we'll keep an eye on it. Now, I want to talk about Ty Simpson for a second. You guys know Ty Simpson, the quarterback at Alabama. Well, Alabama offered his brother Graham for the class of 28, another quarterback. Their dad's the coach at UT Martin, and now Graham Simpson gets an offer. So I thought about you. You guys have that same – you got a legacy at the Air Force Academy. All the Cokers ride down there to where is it? Colorado Springs?
Colorado Springs, yep. Me and my older sister. That's me and her are the only siblings that didn't go to Air Force. So, been to Colorado Springs a pretty good bit. I will say the best graduation I've ever been to.
Mm-hmm. Well, you weren't at the one with Saban and Trump speaking.
No.
Can you imagine being there for that? Like, what I look back and realized that I had Denzel Washington in mind, which is pretty cool. I forgot, and then I remember. Now looking back, who would have thought, like, one of the great actors of our time.
Was he not big? Was he not big back then?
I just forgot. Like, I mean, it's been a while. I had might have had a late night the night before.
Well, Denzel was a young guy back then too, huh?
Yeah, he was great. and there's actually some clips online of that.
Yeah.
Did you go to your graduation?
I did not.
See, I knew you. I knew that.
Yeah.
Why?
I think I was in the training room when I know Ryan Kelly walked, and I feel like I remember him coming in his graduation outfit, and I think I was.
You couldn't take it. You just couldn't stand the idea of one more round of applause.
I didn't want to sit there for a few hours, and I was like, told my parents, I was like, y'all don't worry about this, man. I wouldn't want to sit through a graduation.
It's great. Bryant Coker.
Everybody look around like, who is that?
Nah, you got a nice round of applause. No, the football players always do.
Yeah. No, I just, I'm not. I don't like formal events. It's not my style.
Yeah.
Send it to me in the mail. I'll take it in the mail.
I can't even do that. I gotta go duck hunting. Not gonna be there. Oh man. Well, hey, another fun show. A big day for Alabama yesterday. I want to tell you guys this though before we get out of here. Summer's not over. As a matter of fact, it just started, and you're looking for somewhere really good to go. And this is the place to do it. Ocean City, Maryland, right there. Look at that place. Resident Inn by Marriott, Ocean City, back to back coastal style hotel of the year. The location's amazing. The service and the amenities are awesome. It's by the boardwalk. It's a different view than what we get down here in the South. Grew up going there. Absolutely love it. The Next Round gang went. They did their show from out there. It is just a fantastic place. Awesome bars, great food, restaurants, the sightseeing, the fishing, all that stuff at Ocean City, Maryland is amazing. You go up there, you got to try the crabs. But we appreciate them for being part of what we're doing. And when you go, tell Keith that you heard about it here on Elephant in the Room. Are you a crab guy, Coker?
Oh, I love it all. But
okay.
I'm about ready for. Since the College World Series ended, this is the dead heat of the worst part of the year right now. Just, my Braves aren't very good.
Shame.
I'm ready for Labor Day.
Well, I'm not going to tell you what team to cheer for, but there's a first place team right over my shoulder. Yeah. We got plenty of room for you on the bandwagon.
Yeah. We need another black cat to run across the field.
No, we don't. We need to keep on rolling. Hang that W flag. Big W flag for Bama yesterday, though. I'll tell you that. It was a great day for Alabama. I was out like you. I was pretty concerned about Texas. I'm glad that Alabama was able to get Crowell and we get to keep the recruiting train going, keep these guys lined up. And, and for you guys, thank you for hanging out with us. Show's always presented by Pearl River Resort, Philadelphia, Mississippi. Jake and I were just there. We had a great time. What did you think of the steak at Philip M. Steakhouse? The tomahawk.
The steak. What's the soup we get?
The chowder.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, it's that place. Hey, if I'm in Philadelphia, Mississippi, I mean that's where I'm eating.
Yeah, right.
I love that place. Great people, great food, great golf course. You got to take the kids to the water park. Hadn't been there yet, but
so good.
Yeah. I mean, you're not going to go wrong.
Mm-mm. And that may be the plan for you. Maybe next time we go up there to do a remote, you can bring the family and let them go to the water park.
Yeah. Water park, golf course. I got to do it all.
Yeah. Well, you guys can check it out. Pearl River Resort, Philadelphia, Mississippi. Jeff Dunham's going to be there this summer, part of their summer concert series, although he's a comedian with puppets. But they do it all. You got the casinos, Silver Star, Golden Moon, with table games and the most amazing slot setup that you're going to find in the South. And then, obviously talking about the golf course, Dancing Rabbit. You don't have to have a membership, and it's not far. Hour and a half from Tuscaloosa, 2 and change from Birmingham. It's not a bad drive for us either, coming from the coast. But give them a try and have a great weekend, everybody. Big win for Alabama on the recruiting trail. And we'll talk to you guys next week. Roll Tide.
Escape to Pearl River Resort.